Welcome to Berkay Explores, the channel where we dig into the lost stories of our past. I'm your host, Silafat. Take a look at a map of Europe. It seems solid, permanent, doesn't it? But what if I told you the maps we trust are lying? That some of the most important chapters of human history are written on landscapes that are now completely invisible. A long, arduous journey out of Africa, through the Middle East, and up through the Balkans. But what if there was another way? A path now lost to the sea, a story written not in stone, but on a landscape that no longer exists.
That's the incredible possibility we're exploring today, Sulafat. It's a discovery that challenges the very foundations of what we thought we knew. New research from the coast of Turkey is suggesting that our ancient ancestors might have taken a route we never imagined, walking across a land bridge that has since vanished beneath the waves of the Aegean Sea.
Exactly. We're not just talking about a minor detour. This is a discovery that could literally add a new page, maybe even a new chapter to the epic story of human migration. So let's set the scene for our viewers. Ben, can you remind us why the traditional route was so widely accepted for so long?
Absolutely. The long-held consensus has been that Homo sapiens, after leaving Africa, moved into the Levant, what we now know as the Middle East. From there, the primary path into Europe was believed to be a northward land-based trek, eventually entering the continent through the Balkans. For years, the trail of evidence, campsites, fossils, tool caches, seemed to point in one direction. It created a very linear, almost highway-like path on our maps of prehistory. It was logical, it was well documented, but as we're learning, human history is rarely so straightforward.
And that's where this new research comes in, throwing a fascinating wrench in the works. A team of expert female archaeologists from Turkey, and it's significant that local expertise is leading this charge, focused on a beautiful, idyllic region known for its olive groves today, Ayvalık, on the northeastern Aegean coast. But they weren't looking for holiday spots. They were looking for traces of a prehistoric world. And they found them.
They certainly did. In a relatively short survey, they found something astonishing. Across a 200-square-kilometer area, they uncovered 138 lithic artifacts, that's stone tools, spread across 10 different sites. Now, 138 might not sound like a huge number, but for a preliminary survey in a completely undocumented region, it's an archaeological jackpot. To put that in perspective, imagine searching a 77-square-mile area of wilderness for needles in a haystack and coming back with 138 needles. It tells you there's a whole factory nearby. It proves consistent, widespread presence, not just a single lost tool dropped by a lone wanderer. Dr. Göknur Karahan, one of the lead archaeologists, described it as a vital land bridge for human movement during the Pleistocene era.
The Pleistocene era, that's the Ice Age. So how is a land bridge even possible between what is now Turkey and mainland Europe? It's hard to picture.
It's all about the ice. During the Ice Age, massive amounts of the Earth's water were locked up in colossal continental glaciers. This caused sea levels to drop dramatically. We're talking more than 100 meters, or over 300 feet. When that happened, vast coastal plains that are now underwater were exposed. It fundamentally redrew the map of the world.
So the islands we see today off the coast of Ayvalık wouldn't have been islands at all. This wasn't just a narrow, precarious causeway. What would it have looked like for someone walking across it?
Precisely. They would have just been the higher points, the hills and mountains, of a continuous, expansive landmass. We need to erase the image of a barren, wind-swept land bridge from our minds. The paleogeographic data suggest this exposed plain would have been a rich and vibrant ecosystem. River valleys would have snaked across it, creating fertile grasslands teeming with game animals, herds of deer or aurochs, wild horses. For hunter-gatherers, this wasn't just a bridge, it was a destination in its own right, a new frontier packed with resources.
Incredible. It paints such a different picture. So let's talk about the tools themselves. What did they find? You mentioned they were sophisticated.
Far from simple rocks, this is what makes the discovery so compelling. They found a diverse toolkit. Among the most significant finds were hand axes, cleavers, and what are called Levallois-style flake tools.
Levallois technology, that sounds important. Break that down for us. Why is this technique such a game changer in understanding our ancestors?
Think of it like 3D printing with stone. Instead of just bashing two rocks together hoping for a sharp edge, the toolmaker would meticulously shape the core, the mother stone, visualizing the final tool inside it. They'd prepare the striking platform, control the angles, and then with one perfectly placed strike, they'd detach a flake of a predetermined size and shape.
So it's not just about making a tool. It's about teaching a complex, multi-step process. It implies language, planning, and a highly structured way of thinking.
Exactly. It's the ghost of a prehistoric engineering lesson. Finding these tools, alongside more robust hand axes and cleavers, likely used for heavy-duty butchery, shows we're dealing with cognitively sophisticated people with a diverse toolkit for every occasion.
So finding these specific tools in Ayvalık is a huge clue about who was there and how they were connected to the wider world.
It's a smoking gun. Dr. Karahan called these tools iconic artifacts of the Paleolithic. Their presence there provides direct evidence that this region wasn't an isolated backwater. It was part of the same wider technological traditions that were shared across Africa, Asia, and Europe. It connects this lost land bridge to the broader story of humanity. They even identified local, high-quality raw materials the toolmakers were using, like flint and chalcedony, showing they knew the landscape intimately.
You can almost feel the excitement of the discovery. The articles really capture the human element of this find. This wasn't just a routine dig.
Not at all. It was a survey, which means the team was exploring on foot, often through muddy lowlands and coastal plains, without knowing for sure what, if anything, they would find. The geology of the Aegean coast is incredibly active. Over millennia, rivers deposit silt, the coastline erodes, and landscapes get buried. Finding anything at all is a testament to their skill and persistence. Imagine sifting through layers of mud and sediment, knowing that the prize you're looking for is a small worked stone that could easily be mistaken for a natural rock. Dr. Karahan described the moment they found the first tool as truly unforgettable and both emotional and inspiring.
It gives me chills just thinking about it. So, what does this all mean for the big picture of human migration? Is the old theory out the window?
Not necessarily out the window, but it's now clear it's incomplete. This discovery proposes a crucial alternative route. It suggests Ayvalık could have been a dynamic mobility corridor. More than just a simple path, it was likely a habitat, a place where early humans lived, adapted, and interacted. It fundamentally challenges the idea that the only way into Europe was through the northern mainland. As the researcher said, it feels like we are adding an entirely new page to the story of human dispersal.
A whole new page. So what's the next chapter? What happens now? It sounds like they've just scratched the surface.
That's the most exciting part. This was a preliminary survey. The team has proven the potential is there. The next steps will require a much more intensive multidisciplinary approach. They need to conduct stratigraphic excavations to understand the layers of occupation, use absolute dating techniques like optically stimulated luminescence to get precise ages for these artifacts, and carry out paleo-environmental reconstruction to understand exactly what this landscape and climate were like.
So what will those techniques actually tell them that the survey couldn't?
The survey found the what, the tools. Now they need the when and how. Stratigraphic excavation means carefully digging down layer by layer to see how the sites were used over time. Was it a brief stopover or a long-term settlement? Absolute dating can tell them when the sediments the tools were buried in were last exposed to sunlight, giving a precise age. And paleoenvironmental reconstruction, by analyzing ancient pollen and soil samples, will let them rebuild that lost world, what plants grew there, what animals roamed. That's how you turn a powerful hypothesis into a certainty.
It's a profound reminder that the world we see today is just a snapshot in time. Beneath the waves, along coastlines we think we know, the evidence of entire lost worlds is waiting to be found. This discovery in Ayvalık is more than just a collection of stone tools. It's the doorway to a forgotten chapter of our own story.
A story of adaptation, innovation, and mobility. It shows our ancestors were not just passively spreading, but actively exploring and navigating a world that was constantly changing around them. And it's likely not the only lost world out there. Scientists talk about Doggerland in the North Sea, which once connected Britain to mainland Europe and was a heartland of human settlement before it was flooded. And there's Sunderland, which connected the islands of Indonesia. We're realizing that some of humanity's greatest stories were played out on these lost stages. Ayvalık is part of a growing realization that to find the biggest secrets of our past, we may need to start looking under the water. It took a dedicated team of modern explorers to bring that story back to the surface.
A truly incredible find. What other parts of the world do you think might be hiding a lost chapter of human history beneath the waves? Drop your theories in the comments below. We'd love to read them.
A huge thank you for joining us on Berkay Explores. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the past. Until next time, keep digging.